The Ghana National Fire Service says it is deploying all critical assets to douse flames that have engulfed parts of the building in Parliament that serves as offices for members of Parliament, as well as the parliamentary service staff. The cause of the fire is yet unknown, as MPs, ministers and staffers who were engaged in parliamentary business have all been evacuated from the building. Greater Accra Regional Commander of the Fire Service, ACF 01 Roberta Agri-Ganson, has been addressing the media.
Around 9:45, we received a distress call, and within less than 5 minutes, our appliance was here. Guys, what we are saying now is fire that has affected one of the rooms. It is like a storeroom because we have some storage items there. So our aim now is to get the fire confined. After the fire is confined, then we know how to extinguish it. The most important thing for us now is to confine the fire so that the fire does not travel to other unaffected rooms. If we would know what actually caused the fire, then it will be after our firefighting. But at the moment, the situation is very calm. So everybody should keep the heart at rest. The situation is controlled.
Everything is
it's very controlled now.
So is the place safe for staff to work?
No, it is not safe now because we have to extinguish the fire totally. So after extinguishing of the fire, that is when we can come out with all other things.
Do we still have flames there? There's no flame at all.
Initially, we saw a flame, so we assumed that was the start of fire. It's been tackled. The place is very smoky now, so it is difficult for us to come out with anything for now.
How many fire tenders have been called to reach exactly where the fire was? Was it that they can't reach the tenders are not able to reach?
No, you know the tender cannot climb the stairway. So it is the human being who is to climb the stairway. So we had to just lay our hoses from where the tender is, the closest place where the tender is, to the first floor.
So how many tenders have you deployed so far?
Currently we are using 3, but luckily for us there is enough of water in Parliament.
Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins us from the scene. Kweku, what more can you report from Parliament? First, were there any casualties recorded?
Well, not at all, because the entire building, the Justice Andrea building behind me, that 12th floor building was completely evacuated before the fire spread eventually. Ultimately, this fire started around about 9:30. The Government Assurance Committee was just about to start sitting. The Western Housing Minister, Kojo Nkrumah, was expected to take his turn before the committee, and then officials came in there, rushing all Parliament and officials out, because part of the Justice Andrea building had caught flames, and the fire service was trying to bring the situation under control. You heard that the Greater Accra Regional Commander talk about how they had to use 3 fire tenders to be able to douse the flame. Currently, there are still 2 on the scene that is trying to see that even if the fire is to reignite, the situation will be brought under control. We can confirm now that the fire has been completely brought under control. The situation has been in such a way that things are moving quite expeditiously. Members of Parliament, as well as staffers, have not been allowed into the Justice Andrea building as of yet, even though the situation has been brought under control. Our understanding is that the fire service and ECG officials are still on scene, just in case there are situations that they have to deal with to prevent the fire from reigniting. And that is what they are trying to work on now. So, Sweetie, I can report to you now that the situation has been brought under control. The fire has been doused, but ECG officials as well as fire service officials still here to try and see that they can get this situation under control before anything of the sort, in terms of a reignition of anything of the sort. We have also been briefed by the Chief Fire Officer himself, CFO Julius Okuno, who was here about 30 minutes ago to try and see the work his men have been doing. The situation has been brought under control, and he's been the one giving us that confirmation. A number of parliamentary service staff still littered all over the place within the precincts of Parliament, awaiting instructions as to whether or not they can go back into the building, get their belongings, and then leave, because the information we are getting is that not much of key business would have to be done today because of the fire incident that have now been brought under control, so that to give the fire service as well as the Electricity Company of Ghana and other investigative bodies the time to go in there, see exactly what happened, and see to it that everywhere is safe for it to continue in the coming days, sweetie.
Kweku, how much parliamentary business was affected, though, by this incident?
Well, as we speak, Parliament is currently on break. Members of Parliament have been on break since the 31st of July, and so the House itself, in terms of the chamber business, plenary, is not sitting. But there are a number of committees. In fact, yesterday, there was the committee on the Akosomo Downs Village sitting, and in fact, that was just around the place that the fire swept this morning, and so one would be left wondering what exactly was going to happen if that committee was sitting. But that committee was not sitting this morning, but there were government assurance committee that was sitting. But outside of that, the entire parliamentary service is still working to try and keep the business of Parliament running, even now that Parliament is on break. So as we speak now, the entire Parliament has been brought to a halt, and the parliamentary service that would have to be doing the parliamentary business whilst MPs are out of out in their constituencies have all that come on hold for the time being, that the fire service is trying to investigate the situation and ensure that this fire does not recur.
Kweku Asante, our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, thank you for bringing us updates on that fire incident.